seeing TaNehisi Coates and then having a discussion afterwards with community members who stayed. And I just wanted to know, we talked about systemic racism, we talked about diversity, we talked about equity, we talked about the black experience. So I just wonder what your thoughts are coming out of that.
First of all, Ta-Nehisi Coates is a really special person, a special speaker. My mom had, went to one of his events and came home and called me up and just told me how powerful he was. And, he talked about representation today, about how, as black folks, we felt so well represented when President Obama was in office. And similarly, experiencing Ta-Nehisi Coates as a black man in this country, I felt just very well represented, and I felt almost the desire afterwards to want to protect him. And I know my mom shared similar things with me. It's almost like you want to say, look, brother, if you ever need security or just anybody to make sure that we preserve you and your gift and your anointment and everything that you that you're contributing to our society, just let me know and I'm there. That's kind of the most raw feeling that I have right now. But afterwards, we opened it up, and for a discussion after Ta-Nehisi Coates left and most of the audience left, there was a discussion that was opened up. And what I really wanted to say to the group, I didn't have a chance to say, is that I really feel like in order to truly start to address some of these systemic issues is, and Ta-Nehisi Coates kind of mentioned it, is that we really have to realize that there was a plundering that happened. There was a loss of resources. There was a loss of capital. There was a loss of equity that happened in black communities. And as he said, we don't need shrinks. We don't need therapy. We need resources. We need the money that was taken from us back. We need the resources that was taken from us back. We need the equity that was taken from us back. And I think everybody, what we can do is we have to be very careful when money is organized to help. And I'm speaking from a black experience, but this really pertains to any marginalized group. But when money is organized to help black folks, we have to be mindful of who the leaders of that money are, who are the governors of that money, because oftentimes what happens is white folks pay white folks to help black folks. White folks pay white folks to empower black folks, to help black folks, and to help solve an issue that is so personal to our community. And so why wouldn't you want a leader from that community, somebody who's immersed and has been immersed in that experience, to lead in that effort? And we have to stop that. Pots of money that are for black folks should not be governed by white folks. They should be governed and led by black folks. And it happens all the time in this community. Well-meaning white folks, don't get me wrong, who want to help, who want to do well. Places like WildU and other organizations, WildU right now is thinking about who their executive director was going to be. And I would ask them, again, this is a critical moment that you're in your organization. Think about your leadership, because black folks do not need someone to dictate for them how to liberate themselves and how to help our communities. We don't need white folks for that. We need allies, we need support, we need contributions, but we don't need their leadership. We have our own leadership. We have our own researchers. We have our own academics. We've already solved our own problems before. We have a history of that. What we need is if you're going to organize money and concentrate any type of power, whether it's capital or any type of resources or people power to solve black problems, you need to have black people at the forefront, at the lead, and you need to back them up on their own terms. That is what it really truly means to be an ally, is to support people on their own terms and not yours. And if we can do that, not just in WildU, but I see it even in, we have a organization in Evanston that works, around promoting the Native American experience. And as far as I know, the people that lead that don't look to be Native American. They don't look to be from that experience from a cultural standpoint. To me, that does not make sense. I get it if, I know they're well-meaning people, but it just does not make sense where time and time again, when money and power and influence is concentrated in an effort to help black folks and marginalized groups, while there's not enough black people that I see at the forefront of those movements, at the forefront of those organizations, leading them, and that is a big issue, and it starts here locally.
So can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So do you think, say the Native American, the museum, I think you're talking about, the Mitchell Museum or whatever.
And again, because somebody doesn't look Native American doesn't mean it's not somewhere in their,
but
genealogy.
Say they are,
So,
if
right.
they are, is it up to the Native American community or the black community to produce the leaders, or is it for the white community to stand back and not start an organization because they are white?
I think again, it's there's this idea that again, I can only speak from my experience, but that black folks do not have the capability to lead. They don't have the capability to make financial decisions, to be stewards of finances, and to make administrative decisions. And I think that is just patently false, and it's not even rooted in any historical fact. We have leaders in this community. You're looking at one, you're filming one. There are leaders around me. There are leaders all over this place. We have Opal and Evanston Collective and so many grassroots organizations that are fledgling organizations. They are new, but that's the best time to support an organization, when there's a commitment to that organization, when there's an energy in that organization, when there's a will to try to do things different. We can no longer do things the same exact way we've already been doing them if we want to create transformative movements in this community. If we want everything to be the same, then all we need to do is do things exactly the same. One thing that I heard a quote from somebody before was that we have to stop looking at our conditions in our community as permanent fixtures within our society. And that's another thing we need to stop doing. We have to set our goals a little bit higher. If we don't want homelessness in a community, let's say that. Let's name it. And let's say, okay, look, how much housing do we need to create in order for it to not be a single homeless person in this community? And obviously that also extends to, if we don't want people to be at risk of being homeless, again, how do we create enough affordable units? Let's see how we can scale these efforts in order to completely eliminate the problem. And it's not just with housing, it's with anything. We need to think bigger, and we need to, again, to allow these communities who are in these what feels like a fixed state to lead themselves. And if we can get rid around doing that and make better decisions starting tomorrow, we can turn this thing around. But it has to go beyond just conversation, and we have to start making really tough and uncomfortable decisions.
So I've got one last question.
Okay.
If you're a white woman, say it was me, and I had this idea that I was gonna, start an organization to help young black kids,
right,
or prevent gun violence, for example. Is it not would you say, don't do it? It is not for you to do. Wait for an African American person to do it? How does that
It's not even
work?
wait. I just think partner with an African American person. They're here. They're available. And if you don't know how to access the community or to identify people, ask a black person. They will be able to recommend very talented and capable people to partner with you in that particular opportunity.
Thank you, Bobby.
All right.